Hello, and welcome to another episode of Women of Consciousness. Today is a super fun day. Fun episode we got for you here. Today, joining me as my co-host, little interviewee, is my son Jake. He is 11. He is a recent 5th grade graduate. Let's see what else is amazing about Jake. He plays second in a school-wide chess tournament. He is a member of the civil rights team. He likes to play kickball and basketball and tennis and just enjoys nature. Just spent a week at summer camp for the first time ever. So we're definitely going to kind of dive into talking about that a little bit. So without further ado, drum roll, Jakey.
Hi.
Hi. How are you doing today?
Good.
It's officially summer vacation for us.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty hot here.
Yep.
So we're just kicking around at home, and I threw out the idea of like, hey, let's have a fun, let's just have a fun time together. And you want to do an episode with me? And Jake was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we've, kind of gone back and forth in the last few hours on, how are we going to kind of handle this? I've been prepping him and, giving him some pointers. And yeah, he's just an awesome little kid. So Jake.
Yeah.
All right. I am curious. I would love to know about the civil rights team and when you did that, because you've done that a few years for elementary school. And I just think right now that would be a great way to kick off and start. Talk about, what does the civil rights team look like for you at the elementary level when you're doing it?
It really looks like you having fun, but at the same point, getting work done, helping figure out reasons to help people and how you can.
Oh yeah,
but still keeping it elementary level.
Right. So, what kind of ways were you guys looking at helping people?
I remember last year we were helping people disabilities with maybe getting less stairs and more ramps.
Putting more ramp access in public.
Yeah.
For people with disabilities. Nice. That is so needed.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So what other examples were problems that you were kind of looking at to help?
Also kind of another other disabilities with some restaurants don't serve it's not super often, but some restaurants don't serve people with disabilities.
Oh, restaurants aren't set up and they won't serve.
Yeah, especially if they were built 50 years ago.
Yeah, the older.
Yeah, that don't get rebuilt.
Mm-hmm.
They usually don't have spaces for people with disability.
Yeah, that's so true. And a lot of I know where we live especially, right, historic buildings really become something of community, of value, right? They get plaques and all of that, and people like to go visit historical and they don't want to change historical things. So yeah, I can imagine that makes it really hard to update it with modern day accessibility and accommodations for community members who have disabilities. So that's really awesome that in elementary school, kids get to choose this, right? It's an elective. It's not an actual class that you do.
Yeah, it's an extra activity. It's not something everybody has to do in class, like math, reading.
Right.
It's more you get a paper. If you want to do it, sign it out. And if you don't have to do it.
Right. Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
And I definitely signed it for you. And I like that you came with me, to me, and wanted to do it. Yeah, that's really beautiful. So what is a piece of maybe wisdom that you got from civil rights class, right? What is something that you learned that you might want to take with you as you get older and become a citizen of the community, right? How can you maybe solve some of these problems when you get older? Or what are ways, what are things that you just took away from that? I guess I'm just curious.
Well, first, like, speak up. I think everyone says it, but you kind of just ignore it, but speak up.
You have to address the
Yeah,
problem.
address the problem.
Nice.
Even if it's hard to see. And I guess the wisdom is,
Air quotes he did there, people.
to, like, always help, even if you're not fully sure if they have, like, a disability or something.
Right.
Or something bad happening.
Right. So just help people.
Yes.
Even if they have a disability or if they don't have a disability.
Yeah.
You're not sure what's happening with people internally, right?
Yeah.
So help. Be kind, right? I think kindness goes a long way. And that's a really good pearl of wisdom to share. Nice. Awesome. Thanks, Jake.
You're welcome.
Do you want to talk anything else about civil rights? Is there anything else you can think about that experience that you might want to share with other kids that maybe their schools don't have something like that? Or, how could they maybe, find ways to kind of get into that, community mindset of helping others?
Maybe just, I know as a kid, people, like, adults don't listen to you as much. So it's a bit harder for you to get stuff done. So, like, if you get, like, an adult to help you, it's much easier than trying to do it on your own.
Nice. I like that. And I'm here to help you.
No.
All right. I like it. So I definitely wanted to talk about summer camp.
Yep.
Yes. So I'm going to give a little backdrop to this first, okay? So Jacob is my youngest baby, child. He's the baby. And my oldest son, his older brother, is in the law enforcement, corrections officer. And so there's a program in our state where law enforcement comes together and runs this camp for a week. And it's for 5th grade and 6th grade age children. And it's free. It's okay. Sorry, you dropped a toy. And it's like free for the kids, and it's really an opportunity. It's like a referral program. So it's maybe a rare opportunity. And because of Jake's brother being in law enforcement, he knew people that were going to be at this camp, and later found out that he could work the camp. So Jake was able to get in. So it was really awesome. For Jake, however, not so awesome, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning. First time away from home, and we're very bonded, and you are bonded with your older siblings. So there is, day-to-day conversations, right, that happen through electronic devices. So there's a ways, right, that we stay in touch with the older siblings and whatever. And so for Jake, especially, being away from me, oh my goodness, for like a whole, week and everything. But it worked out perfectly because I was at the Psychedelic Science Convention. And if you follow our Facebook page, I kind of uploaded and just posted things there at Women of Consciousness Consulting. And so it was like the perfect alignment of timing. And so I really had needed and wanted this kid to go off to summer camp while I got this amazing work opportunity. And Jake, he was a good sport about it. And I will say he has a Loki personality in his archetype. He's very mischievous, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And so he'll come to me quite often with
questions,
but more like specific than questions, compromises and negotiations. He's always trying to negotiate with me. And so I knew, okay, I have to kind of give his own tactic here. And so I approached him with the whole summer camp thing as a negotiation. And I really, at that point, asked you to be open-minded, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. I kind of was like, Jake, I want you to enjoy this experience. I don't want you to feel forced into summer camp. it's a really cool opportunity for you. And I know there's some fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
had some fear around leaving home for the first time. And so I was like, I'll negotiate. I will pay you. I'll pay you to go to summer camp because I don't have to pay the summer camp. So it worked out. And so right away, that did it, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah, it did. He was like, okay. And it got you excited because then what did you start doing? Like,
Looking forward to it.
you started looking forward to it. But with all of the money that you were earning, you were coming to me with the different ways of things that, you wanted to purchase.
Yeah.
And I will say 11-year-olds in Fortnite, there's some money there. But I also got him The Invincible, the final book on his collection of The Invincible. So that was it was cool. I mean, the fact that I was buying the kid, a book, it worked out win-win-win all around for me. So yeah, I ended up approaching you in your own language of negotiation. It worked out for both of us. He did accept camp with an open mind, and that allowed us to have conversations, right?
Yeah.
And really embrace the transition. We love going for walks together. Yeah, that's got to be like our neighborhood thing, definitely, right? And when we go for walks, we like to have conversations and really connect and check in with each other. And so that's the way for me. I know I have his attention and like he has my attention, and we can just truly be present with each other, which is so important. And so we really started addressing, what were your fears? And so, Jake, I want to give you a minute because there might be kids, right? There might be parents and out there that have kids too right now. And they're gearing up, right? They're getting ready for summer camp. So what kind of fears of this unknown place your mom is negotiating with you to go to? Yeah.
I really think if I was doing summer camp again and I didn't know about it and it was a different summer camp, I would definitely be scared.
Yeah. But what fears did you have about this one before you knew about it?
Before I knew about it, I was definitely scared about just leaving for an entire week.
Right? Leaving for an entire week. That's huge to 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just because meeting new people.
Yeah.
Being around people that you've never met.
Mm-hmm. It's scary for adults. That's scary for adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just being like sleeping kind of in the woods-ish in like a hut.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about the cabins, right?
The
unknown of like how many bunk beds, how many people. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely scary, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah. So when I got the paperwork, we started going over it, right? We looked at the schedule. We looked at some of the activities, the packing list, right? We packed together, even though Mom mostly packed. So we did the process together, right? So you kind of knew. We watched the YouTube video, didn't we? And then we kind of talked about that and what we saw there. Mm-hmm. When you left, I had 2 days to go before my plane for my adventure. And I was sitting at home and I remember all of a sudden being hit with like all these emotions. Like it hit me like my kid is now gone and I can't call him. I can't see his face. Like I have to wait, from Saturday to Friday to be able to talk to my kid again. And then I remember kind of working through my fears that I didn't even know I had in the process because I was looking at like all of the positives for you and I was looking at all the positives for me. And I was just really excited about this. And I also truly saw it as an archetypal moment, right? Where you were being initiated. And I think in a lot of ways, for me, how I saw it is you just graduated 5th grade. We had just spent a few days. I chaperoned some field trips for you, like back to back. And then I went to your graduation. So we had like this really beautiful, like bonding time. And then it was like watching my baby go off. And I sat with that after while you were gone. And I recognized this is his initiation journey. Like the universe, right? The Gaia, Mother Earth, is calling him onto his own path right now, and he has to go solo. And that's really what used to happen to young, boys and girls, different cultures, different time periods. They had different rituals and different customs. Sometimes, they were quite forced out with nothing, no food, no clothing, and really had to, if you could survive for 2 weeks out in the wild and make it back to your tribe, you're now a man and initiated into your tribe as a man. So we've lost a lot of those customs in our culture, and we never specifically maybe even had them, to be perfectly honest, with our lineage. That's something I've been really questioning and looking at, is like a lack of customs and rituals within my lineage and culture. And so that brought up a lot of fears for me, especially where like you're the youngest of four. I had to recognize that I could let those fears go now. Like, you know what I mean? Like you guys are able to come to a place that, like, with middle school in the fall, when go into 6th grade, that's a huge shift. I think all parents understand that, right? When elementary school ends, there is a sense of innocence that fades, that gets transitioned, and there's a new emergence of a different kind of like hormonal innocence as middle school comes and approaches, right? And so for me, it was like, oh wow, I've raised 4 kids, like he's off, he's gonna be okay. I've taught him, hopefully. And this is where I had the paranoia for a minute of, did I prepare you enough for camp? If some kid's mean to you or tries to like push you, or like if anything like that, are you going to be able to stand your ground? Are you going to get your feelings hurt? Like, that you have to like suck back emotions. Like, I had all of these thoughts in my mind. Like, did I prepare him to handle relationships and communication with other kids enough? And I know that you can do that clearly, right? But it was a moment of codependency into independency, which as parents we all strive for, right? We want our kids to have independence from us, and yet we also kind of want them to be codependent on us. And it depends on ages and stages and development and all of that. And obviously, like, there's healthy and toxic codependency. So it's a hard line, and it's a fine line. But that was what came up for me as you went off to camp. Like, that's all that. So while you had fears that you had to work through, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, Jake. Like, I had fears as a parent too, that I didn't know were there. So do you think our fears were realistic for both of us?
I definitely think they are realistic, especially for you, since I've never like done camp before.
Yeah.
Never really been away from home for a week.
Yeah.
I've only really been away for like 3 days, maybe 4.
Right.
Never.
And that's always usually with other family.
Yeah.
And we can get a hold of each other.
Yeah.
I was able to write you 2 letters. So I knew like you were going to get my 2 letters, but even then I was like, oh, is he going to get emotional when he reads these? When you're going to bed at night, I was like, oh, is he okay? Are their kids going to be mean? Like, are there kids, like, who knows, right? Trauma creates trauma, right? Trauma keeps trauma going. And like, who knows, like the backgrounds and the things. And so like, yeah, I just wanted to protect you in all of the ways. And all of a sudden I had to let go. I had to let go of control. I had to let go of knowing. And I remember at one point messaging your older brother and I was like, please tell me, this is a safe camp and that he is okay. And that if I have to, like, I will be notified and contacted, or like somehow, like contact will be made. And he didn't even answer me. I think he just probably laughed to himself when he read it, which, yeah, so older brothers, right? So I think camp. All right, so let's talk about camp as you went through it. What did you experience at camp?
Definitely, first thing, main topic, a lot of new stuff.
A lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, new life experiences you never had before.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
Very different. Very tiring. Kind of strange.
Kind of strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, strange in part. So there was about like 150 kids, and it was run, like I said, it was run completely by the law officers, like law enforcement of our state.
Like cops, teachers, detectives.
Yeah. So they really wanted kids to have like respect for themselves, respect for nature. They wanted them to learn about like law enforcement and really not be afraid of it, right? To understand that these are people that want to help youth. They want you to have an education around the law and really understand it so that when you grow up, you see them as kind of like a moral compass in a way, right?
Yeah.
These people that are giving back and really just trying to help children, and not really like harass and hurt children. So I thought that was really kind of nice. I think like their vision and mission of the camp and what they're trying to create for the youth, for the youth's future, I really respect that and just really align with that. And so I'm grateful. And so, yeah, Jake walked, like 10 miles a day?
Yeah.
No electronics at all, which I'm so proud. So proud. Because I bought him a PlayStation 5 at Christmas. And the last, 6 months has definitely been trying for us. I tried to teach Jake about balance, but also letting him be a beautiful inner child, who just have fun and play stuff. And I think sometimes you get too worried about and whatnot. So yeah, just balance, right? Healthy balance. Fishing, boating, sports, food. We talked about food even beforehand because I remember food was years.
Like it or you don't like it, try it. Just once. We had swimming. I tried it one time. Yeah. And it was fun.
Right, and I remember pushing for that because you were dead set against swimming when you were leaving.
Yeah.
And as someone who loves the water, I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine. And you're a Scorpio even too, so I'm like, how can you not want to be in the water? So I'm glad that you were open-minded and you tried it once. And that's beautiful advice to pass along to other people. Thank you, Jake.
You're welcome.
All right. So we are talking about a kid's perspective on life. And we kind of talked a little bit about school and the civil rights. And we talked about his first time at summer camp here. I will say we love Marvel. We love Marvel. We're super Marvel fans here. We go to all the movies. We watch all the Disney shows. So I can't not help but talk about Marvel and superheroes and archetypes and consciousness and spirituality. And those are things that I love to share with Jake when we have our walks and we have our conversations. So yeah, what Marvel we just saw, what one was it? Thunderbolts. Like that we said that at the same time. What one are you looking forward to next? Fantastic Four. Awesome. So talk to me about this perspective on the movies and superhero culture.
It's definitely really cool.
Yeah.
To since you don't really see it. You don't go outside and see Superman, Spider-Man. It's really cool to even though they're 2 hours. 2 hours is still a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not super long.
Right.
But it's really cool to see the story of maybe a team or just one character go through this story, maybe through one movie, a show, multiple movies.
Right. Yeah, because with the Marvel ones, they really are doing like stages
Yeah.
and carrying on the storyline for character development. I agree with you. I don't see that in real life to that capacity. So imagination and creativity can get really fun, right? It's cool. All right, so hands down, Jake, I gotta ask. If there was one superhero that was real in real life, who would that be that mommy would want?
That you Thor.
Thor, absolutely. All right. So who is your favorite We're waiting for school now. We're having camp while I was there and worked out, and then Friday. And I was super happy to just hear your voice. Hug you, and I had to wait for it. Big hug. And then so we just went home and really kind of looks like. I know for me, every year, I've always asked the kids bucket list. What are things you want to accomplish? What are things you want to do? And then I always do like having thunderstorms, whatever outdoors. What are things, activities? So for me, this year, I want to go Bloom, where you go and wet and stuff like that, from like a log ride. So what is what are some activities? Last year we went camping. We had a lot of fun. We were in the pool all the time. The fire. I am proud of our fire last summer. We went camping. We started that fire on like Friday night. We never went out once. We maintained it. We never had a what are you looking forward to this summer? We got our movies lined out. Yep, that's
2 more.
Yep.
Which you try to go once a month.
Right. Oh, Superman, the new Superman one.
Yeah, Superman and Fantastic. Did we go this month? I don't think we did.
No, we didn't go this month. No. We talked about it. We were gonna see Lilo and Stitch, but we didn't.
No, we didn't. I think that'll come to Disney.
Yeah, we'll find it later.
Yeah.
We saw Minecraft and we saw Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
We're definitely like movie people, for sure. It's about the only thing I watch these days is just movies every now and then. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I'm down with it. I know I gotta focus on my business stuff. Maybe do some podcasts. I don't listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So, anything you want to something you want to remind adults about kids, like, I don't know. I have to go by the guideline of trying to get off. I let them go. I let them go. Longer than I should, because there were times where, like, in my head, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get this kid, like, silent and, like, get this room, like, back in order. But in the meantime, I'm very aware that I may be the only person listening to this kid's story today, because they might be going home and nothing, and they might not be heard. And so, like, that's something that I really have to sit with and go through. And so I agree with you. I agree with you. That's, you know, I agree with you. I have to say something around 0. And yet I have to control my situation. And I have to be so efficient knowing that I have to allow them to do that openly, how they need to relax. And make sure not to go up. And I would I don't want to be completely in that situation. I agree with you. When you talk to me, I'm distracted. And I know that I'm not present. And as I'm walking through, you're like, hey mom, check this out. Oh, I need a minute. Like, I am aware of that practical, and I definitely bring myself back to the present and, like, let go of, you know, whatever's on my mind. There's that whole space that's like, this is what you want to tell me. That's why when we eat dinner, I say no electronics, no sound, no distractions. I don't want anything in the background. I just want it to be me and you, because I know at least in this moment it's us together. When we go for our walk, when we have our conversations, it's just me and you in this moment. Yeah. Can I ask you honestly, like, you must know this, right? When you feel seen and heard by me or others then, specifically, in this moment. Alright, I want to know what you do. Because you just said hear them as you're, like, walking up, jumping and splashing. All right. Well, thank you, Jake.
You're welcome.
Is there anything that we can end on really quick? Any type of kid advice that you just want to give, anything that you can just maybe think of in this moment. I would just love for you to have.
I don't know how to phrase it.
Okay, he doesn't know how to phrase it. Ooh, this is good.
Whatever you
All right.
do.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that because change.
Yeah.
Right, change of character, change of attitude, change of behavior. That's the true apology, isn't it? Actions speak louder than words. I love that, Jake. Amazing. All right. Well, Jake, it was a pleasure talking to you. We're going to definitely we didn't go into that this time. That is All right, thanks everyone. From Jake and I, I'm really grateful that and it's all about like unity consciousness and coming, together. That's why the whole unite logo. And so with Jake as a part of the journey with all of this, initiating so when he turned 10 specifically, I allowed him to use a lighter. I allowed him to sense for me now and then my candles, and he hasn't done that in quite a long time actually. But before he would fires, and I try and make him kind of be this fire keeper. Because especially for men and young men, I think a lot of the patriarchal system and the crises that we're in is there's a lack of initiation. There's a lack of processes into boyhood, into manhood. And there are things that we have completely lost with our modern day way of living, that the soul feels on a deep remembrance, that the soul is trying to reclaim and reintegrate its body through our physicality. And so with women of consciousness, that's always been a vision that I've seen is with the retreats and the things that we want to create. Like, I want to be able to have retreats for parents and children. I want to be able to have a space for them to come together and be able to have conversations that are why was really free here? Not just we're 95. There's a lot going on conscious evolution stages. And so with Jake, I really tried to be open and honest with him because he's grown up like his whole life watching my transformation and my transition, walking away from being Catholic pretty much born, finding paganism. There was a moment when I really rebelled against the system. I had to uncondition myself, and that meant I had to walk away from all the traditions and the customs that I grew up with, and I stopped celebrating Christmas the way that we're taught to celebrate, and I didn't see meaning in it. It was all materialism, and it was all pointless, and then it was stress, and it was chaos. Everybody was worried about buying other people gifts, and I didn't want to be a part of that system anymore. And so what I chose to do was to take my kids on vacations. We're going to go spend a week somewhere. We're going to go to this state or that state. And we went to like a water park, an indoor water park, and like spent just a Christmas, having this family bonding time. And then, everybody got maybe like a stocking or something, a small gift, rather than just staying home and having like all this materialistic crap. So I also like struggled instantly with my diet and turned to like veganism and vegetarianism like instantly. And I mean instantly, like overnight, massive anxiety at the grocery store and just seeing all of the chemicals in our food and like couldn't deal with it. I couldn't even buy groceries. So like all of these transitions, my kids were impacted. But at the same point, my soul was shaking up the paradigms that I lived in because it was no longer in alignment with the systems that were in place. And it's just escalating. And since COVID, even before COVID, it's waves and waves. But I will say since COVID, that 2012, the whole Mayan calendar in the world, this recent period, the orange massive paradigm shift, our access,